What's going on, guys? This is Kenny O from Mahalo.com, and I got a special bonus video for you guys today for our Halloween drawing series. I'm going to teach you how to draw a Mortal Kombat Dragon stencil for your pumpkin. And what we're going to do is we're going to draw out the Mortal Kombat Dragon, and we're going to use it as a stencil so you can put it on your pumpkin and make a cool, awesome Mortal Kombat jack-o'-lantern. Why Mortal Kombat? Because I'm ranked number 89 on PlayStation. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Look up UNROOOLIE. That's right, 89 in all of PlayStation, and a lot of fun. And I love Mortal Kombat, I love drawing, and I love Halloween, so combine all of them together. So as you can see, I got started with a circle. Remember, we start with our shoulders. We just go around just like that. Nice round circle, and we draw from our shoulders. So from there, I'm going to kind of map out my pumpkin. I know I want that those two dragon hairs to kind of touch right here, so I'm just going to map that out really quick. Really light. I'm using some pen so you can see, so this will be kind of a sketchy kind of drawing. So I know right there, that's where the top of my dragon has to touch. So then I'm going to start mapping out the rest of it. And I'm going to come around, the dragon comes around here, touches the bottom of that circle, and we're just, you know, like these are our construction lines, because I'm gonna tell you right now, this dragon is not an easy thing to draw, but man, I love this dragon. So then we're coming lightly, kind of map it out. All right, and then from right here, just really light, and then I know the tongue, map that out too, and I want the tongue to touch the circle. I think it used to back in the day. I don't know if it does anymore, but I want it to touch because it's going to help. The more area that touches the pumpkin, the better it is going to be to carve. So I got the tongue mapped out really good right now. And yes, this is sketchy, but I'm going to go over it with a Sharpie. So I got that down. I got where I want the eye. So I'm going to go ahead and just lightly kind of put in the mouth. And yep, I'm happy with that right there. So from right there, the tongue is right there. We're going to go ahead and put in that dragon tooth, and it's kind of curved. And there we go. And then the tongue comes right from that tooth. So just kind of follow me. We're getting really light and sketchy with our lines. And I'm drawing in pen. It's easier for you guys to see, and it's extra training, you know, for me. So we're drawing that other tooth, and then from there comes out just a little bit, comes out one more time, and then the nostril of the dragon. And this thing is very tough to draw, but if you kind of follow me, you should be okay. So we got that nostril down, and then comes up, and then it goes up just a little bit right here, just a tiny bit, because that's where the other nostril goes. And it's kind of a bean shape, and sometimes you might make it too big. Yeah, it's definitely dude, it's Mortal Kombat Dragon is one of my favorite logos of all time. So we're coming around. See how I mapped it out pretty good, and it's just telling me right where I need to go. And then I'm going to come around here. Yep, close that, and then I'm going to draw a bump right here. And we can continue to, yeah, and then up here is just a little bump. And there we go. So I'm just going to come in and draw, follow me with your pens or pencils. You can actually use a pencil, just dripping blood. And so now I'm using that as a guideline, because that's a tricky part to get to, is to those kind of dragon hair, or whatever that is right there. All right, and so we got that first part mapped out really nicely. So let's come here and kind of commit to this line. And you see how I'm holding my pen? I'm holding it real loose, real kind of sketchy. That's why I kind of want you to hold your pen or pencil, whichever you decided to draw in. There we go. And right here it's kind of thin. Awesome. And then from right here, it's about the distance of his body right there. So, and it's pretty close to the tongue. Then I can come here and I could adjust this a little bit to make that more, to give that more room. And right after there is that really important part. There we go. And then this part comes out like here. And there we go. This part comes down. Let's bring this down just a little bit. It's okay if we're sketchy. It's not an easy thing to draw. I bet you there's some people online that could draw this. Wow, my pen is running, but let's keep rolling, guys. The show keeps on moving. Alright, so I bet you there's guys that can draw this like in one, like, couple simple lines. That's mad cool. So I'm just going to draw this line right here, come down. See how that was helping me the whole entire time? Alright. Bring this out right here. There's another one right here. And I can see, like, you know, if I need to adjust it and make it thicker, I can always do that. Come right here. There's one more. And you can see I definitely needed to make it thicker. I could still do the same thing over here. So I'm going to grab my Sharpie. Here's where I'm going to go ahead and, because this is okay, because this is just going to be our stencil, so it doesn't have to be really perfect. So I can bring this line out more, see? And give myself some more space. There we go. Make that thicker because it's looking a little bit thin. So I'm going to come here. And so here we go. So I'm ready to start kind of committing to this line. And this is where I want that line. And actually, we're going to make this touch that line, because the more places you have that touching, it's going to make the pumpkin a lot stronger. I did this when I was like around 17 years old, which was about like 2 weeks ago. Wink. So we're coming in. All right. I'm going to add that eye. I know you guys are like, Kenny, you're forgetting that eye. I'm like, I haven't yet. There we go. And then I'm going to show you what part of this you cut out so you can have it for your pumpkin. So, got that out right there. And then here comes the tricky part. The eye, it's going to come and it's got to be just right around there. So we're going to draw kind of a bean shape. Comes down just right here. Comes up. Goes down a little bit. And comes down sharp. And then there we have our Mortal Kombat dragon. So I'm just going to go ahead, kind of commit to these lines that I made. Now I know we did sketchy kind of style, but like I said, this is not really for drawing. This is for putting in our pumpkin so we can carve an awesome Mortal Kombat pumpkin. So, have you guys ever done a really cool design for pumpkins? Let me know in the comments. Give me some requests. And it's still going to be some good time for Halloween, so we can see if we have some requests. Now, you know, and a really cool, you know, some stores like Michael's, I don't know if they have Michael's where you guys are at, but they have these fake pumpkins, which are really cool, so you can actually kind of try cool little things like this. Alright, so we're just about done. So now next, I'm going to explain what we do when we get our pumpkin. And later on, when they start selling pumpkins, I'll show you. But look at that. That's our pretty cool dragon. So we have our stencil, and I'm going to shade in the parts that we are going to cut out. Look at this pen. It's bleeding. So I'm just going to do some cross hatching. Now, this area that I'm shading, you could shade too. This is the area that we're going to cut out right here. So when we cut a circle, when we put this on our pumpkin, all this is we're going to cut out. And I'm showing you just shade, 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 and I'll show you what parts to start off with first. So we're shading the first few parts. So all this part that I'm sloppily cross hatching right now is the parts that we're going to cut out. So right here, right here, right here. So what we do is, we get a lot of the pumpkin carving kits will actually come with like, a couple of like simple happy face stencils, or, maybe like a witch stencil. And if you know how those work, this works the same way. So what we do is all this is going to be out. So this orange part is going to be touching the pumpkin. This hair is going to be touching the pumpkin. I'm going to explain it to you. These orange parts will all be touching the pumpkin. The tongue, this little piece right here, this little piece right here. And this main piece on the bottom is what's going to be holding up the pumpkin. So we want to start off with when we start carving, we want to poke holes with a little pen. So we want to do this. We want to poke through the eye right here. So when we put it on our pumpkin, we're just going to poke holes through this eye right here, through this nostril. Poke, poke, poke. If you ever seen those instruction things, teach you how to carve. And then we're going to poke holes through this area right here, the tongue. Poke holes through the mouth right here with our poker. Poke, 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 poke. And that's just going to make it easier to carve. So you got to puncture the pumpkin right there. And the same thing with all around this dragon. All around right here, we poke, poke, poke. We don't poke that orange part. Come right here. We can have these two pieces touching and poke, 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 poke with our pumpkin, as you get the point. But we come around the pumpkin and we poke holes through all this when we tape it on our pumpkin. So all this part is going to get cut off, cut right here. We don't poke this part to the bottom because that's going to be touching the pumpkin. Then we poke holes right here, and we poke. And I'll do another video, and we'll add it on, and I'll show you how we do it. But if you know how pumpkin stencils work, then you can kind of get my point. So we get that, and that's where we poke all the holes. So now when we start carving our pumpkin, the first part that we want to carve is this eye right here, because later on we don't want to carve the whole pumpkin and get to this part because it's going to be really weak. So we want to first part, if you're watching, is the eye right here. Then the second, we want to do the nose. Then the third is this part of the mouth right here, between the tongue and this tooth. Fourth is right here. And then, once we get to that right here, fifth part right here, we're going to carve that out, so because that's going to touch. And then from there, you're pretty much good to go to start, poking and carving this out. So basically, you're just like cutting this out, and it's going to stand, out right there. And if you wanted to, you can even add a couple of lines right here and just cut out some thin lines, not all the way around, like maybe one here, here, and here, and that'll make it look like the circle. But that's our overview of how to create a Mortal Kombat pumpkin stencil. And I'm going to buy a pumpkin later on, and I'm going to show you. I'm going to attach this to the pumpkin, and we're going to carve out our own cool Mortal Kombat dragon stencil. And this is just a little bonus video. I thought it would be cool. I did it one year for Halloween. It was really rad. People really like the pumpkin. And why Mortal Kombat? Why? Because I love it. It's one of my. No, it's not one of my favorite. It is my favorite game. Mortal Kombat is my favorite video game of all time. That's why I'm ranked number 89. Doesn't mean I'm the best. You know, there's a lot of guys better than me, but I don't know. I just like saying it. But anyways, guys, I want to thank you for joining me in this video on how to make a cool Mortal Kombat pumpkin stencil. And I hope you guys had fun in this Halloween drawing series. And look forward to maybe Christmas. What else? A couple cool holidays. Maybe a short little Valentine's Day series. All right, guys. This has been Kenny O. Thanks for watching.